Welcome back, MTG Joe here. We're continuing our exploration of the standard set. The new Karlov Manor is here, and Mono Green got 5-0 on MTGO from Yeoman 5. They put together a bunch of brews every set, like 50 new brews, so check them out on Twitter, a good follow. But this got 5-0, we're going to give it a shot. We've got a bunch of new cards from the new set. Flourishing Bloomkin, basically 2 mana, its power toughness is equal to the number of force you have. So 2-2 on turn 2 usually, and then can just get bigger over time. Sharp-Eyed Rookies, a 2 mana 2-2 vigilance, where whenever a creature power toughness greater than it enters the battlefield, gets counter and you investigate. We got Bloated Contaminator to proliferate, like either Evolving Adaptive, Sharp-Eyed Rookies, stuff like that. Sentinel and Polychronos beaters. We have Archdruid Charm, which is basically a fight, or like a deal damage effect. Exile Artifact Enchantment, so some utility there. Uvenwald is a beater, Invoke the Ancients. I can't believe this card's still legal in Standard. It's bit like this was Blizzard Brawl days. Rootwire Amalgam, just another beater. So it's just like good old honest Magic. We just gonna beat down today and see how it goes. Axebane Ferox in here as against heavier removal decks. It gives us something we can do in that case. Just kind of beat into our opponent. It has the Death Touch Haste Ward with Collect Evidence as the ward, so this basically will replace the Uvenwald oddities against Shieldred. Blast Zone for any of the kind of go wide Convoke aggressive decks, Filigree Silex. We have Pick Your Poison for Artifact Enchantment Hates, Tranquil Fillback for Artifact Enchantment Hates and Life Gain, kind of things like that. We can look at even potentially, if we wanted, we can play like Obstinance Baloth in here. It's a couple different cards. The one thing, I think I'm just going to get rid of this and play the third Nissa. So I actually queued up a game to record right before this. I'm on Diamond 4. We played against Blue-White Control the first game. I honestly don't think we could beat Blue-White Control. They played 4 removal spells into Sunfall against me, and I just was like, I'm not doing that to start. So we're going to try this again, hopefully avoid the literal mono removal deck, and I think just having Nissa at least attacks that deck at a different angle. We're going to give it a shot, see how it plays out, and kind of go from there. I'll be back with the metagame breakdowns over the weekend. I'll record them on Sunday. I've been looking at the data. There just hasn't been like a huge amount of interesting stuff thus far, so I want to kind of take a look as we proceed, but we'll give this a shot, see how it goes. So this hand here, we have a mana sink if we flood. I think this curve is fine, and I don't really think we can afford to mulligan too much in this deck because we don't have kind of continued card advantage given that we're mono green. So as we wait for our opponent, as mentioned, top right hand corner, we are trying to hit 15,000 subs on YouTube. If you haven't subbed to the channel, it's free, easy, helps out support. We do, like I said, the metagame breakdowns where we look at all the ladder statistics from Untapped GG. We look at tournament results, a whole bunch of goodies. So definitely something to check out if you haven't done so, and the subbing is greatly appreciated if you can. So we'll see how many Sunfalls and Cutdowns we get. Be really kind of representative. I think we can beat on like with the mono reds, the Convoke decks, we just go bigger. But I'm concerned against some of the more aggressive decks. So Convoke up first. This is close to a Pioneer list. This curve's actually pretty solid for us because I could play this tapped, play the Sharp-Eyed Rookie, and then I get to evolve all 3 of my creatures. We'll see how explosive of a turn they have. Looks like they have the Gleeful on 2. If they have the Convoke as well, no Convoke. The Bushwhack, I don't think we're fighting anything. See if they want to trade too. Probably okay with that. Maybe no attacks, but if they have the Anthem, a lot of this deck wants to go wide, so if we can limit their ability to do so. Their removal with the case is contingent on the number of creatures they have, as well as the War Leader's chant. So if we're able to just kind of control their board. So yeah, we see the case here. Again, the case is contingent on the number of creatures you have. Couple different options. We can go here with the Nameless. and then I can bushwhack, fight something. I think we're going to do that. Because this way I get another evolve. So I could explore this turn and then hold the bushwhack, which does get better. They Imidane here, they get the effect, so yeah. Usually what you'll want to do is, in this version here, because their Convoke cards are white, you want to take them off white creatures because it limits what they can do. This case has been really good. This Convoke deck's really fun. The only downside with this deck is the mana base is awful. So nice curve here. We evolve. And now I have Charm for removal. We can also just get rid of the case. We can get rid of a War Leaders. And then I have 2 Explore triggers next turn as well. We also can start making bears. They can flip this if they want, but we can potentially blow them out as well. Gotta go Voldaren here. And Regal Bunnicorn. So interesting line here, because I can deal damage to it and then trample over, which might work. Can deal with the case. I can't quite fight it, but we'll give this a shot. Don't think we want the adaptive at this point. So this will already die. But if I deal 5, I think we just win with the trample here. Yeah, got him there. Sweet. Okay, so trample is a good keyword in this matchup. Filigrees and Blast Zone. The nice thing is we can tutor Blast Zone with this. In this matchup, I do think Nissa is going to be too slow. We also don't want to take the damage. Death Touch, not as relevant as Trample, I would say, in this matchup. And I think instead of Nameless, I do want the Frillbacks, just so we can blow up artifacts, enchantments. They might bring in like Wedding Announcements or just random removal, but I think we're fine, all things considered. What I think would be like nice is if there, I guess we could, the problem is like with Audacity, you're already kind of committing, doubling down. Fortunately, this hand's not going to work. I mean, we're probably not getting better than this. At least we have plays, we have some draws. I don't want to go to 5. We did even bring in an extra land. We're playing 24. Classic Magic. Let's draw your 3rd Bloated Contaminator before you draw your 2nd land. Never didn't have it. So they can flash in the human here. They do. It's not a great, like we're basically trading their 2-drop for our 1-drop, so we're still mana efficient. They could go case here. They go War Leaders. Land. Probably just gonna erase this game. I love Magic. So if they just like Imidanes here, it's pretty rough. We really need to hit a land there. Forest really helps us with that curve, because then we get a bloated down, we can start proliferating, but without that, we're probably too slow. They name Mouse. Pretty sweet. All right, well, we're dead this one. Magic decided we weren't going to play that game. I think we just lower our curve. I don't think we're getting to 5 mana that often. So let's hope we draw some lands. Like, first game, we had a reasonable curve. We play first. I think we keep this one because I can bushwhack on one, but this is kind of ridiculous. 24 lands. Keeping this mainly because we have filigree. So filigree. I think we hang on for now. Let's put some pressure on, and then we have filigree. We'll want to decide what we want to hit. We'll go faceless here, or sentinel. Nameless, not faceless. Did get around to pick. I got a full art foil of these for like 50 cents for Pioneer. So they convoke. Line there is nice. So I think here, a couple decisions to be made. So like I could convoke here. If we hit the land, I guess we just set up for next turn. I can start setting up the counters. So here they can trade 4/4. My dude's just gonna get bigger. Think this is an interesting line because we can go bloat. They have their 1-drops. They could convoke again. Let's see what's on top. Okay, so we drew a land. I think we got filigree going. So how this works is basically ratchet bomb that we can proliferate on. Also, incidentally, can deal 10 damage. So we can deal with tokens, we can deal with 1-drops, so it depends on which way they go. But here, for example, if they just go we may want to still go tokens, we'll see. So let them target. So now we sacrifice, they lose this token, so it doesn't actually kill it. So they can flip this. But that's just kind of timing-wise worked out nicely. Again, if they want to trade multiple, we can. The biggest thing here, we want to keep them off the board. And then I'll make 2 tramplers. Get rid of their 4/4. It's been so long since I've cast this card. Warden's not going to do too much because they have to tap down here. Okay, so they go knight here. They could get another 1-drop, which they do. They're in for a world of hurt. See what's on top. Keep another invoke. So they can block here, but there's 13 trample coming through. Alrighty. On the board, 1-0. So good start. The filigree came in handy, like pretty clutch there. It does take a couple turns to set up potentially, but even just naming tokens is a good way to kind of like sweep up there. Because we basically tempoed them back the whole turn. This hand's reasonable. Obviously we'd want a 1 ideally, but okay. So probably dimir control. Probably a bad matchup. I mean, let's start throwing things out there. Counterspell. The problem is like there's not a cheap Alright, well thank you for dealing with all those lands. Does this deal just a creature? We do want to hit Jace. Here they have to have, like we get hit hard with like a make disappear and a removal spell, which looks like it's what they're going to have because of course, but not really at the point where I can play around it. I'll keep Beseju for now. Problem is with this Field of Ruin, it's gonna hit my Argoth if I tutor for it. Kind of hoping that they don't hit the land here. They likely have the Deadly Cover up. But I'm kind of stuck to the point where I have to play to the board. Either hope they miss the line drop. What I will do is I'm going to play Beseju to potentially bait it out. Now they're going to have the sweeper probably. And then I lose. Yep. This is my problem. Like, okay, well, at least we get 2 threats out there and we get another investigate. This is a 5/5 and a 3/3, so potentially kill Jace. Probably playing 4 of these. That's kind of cool. I have the collect evidence tracker on the top now. Oh my god. It's the top like third of your deck. These charms are probably going to come out. They just don't do much. They'll probably have Shore Shark. hasters too, because why not? Now my deck's just going to be flooded. See what we draw, but we're pretty much dead. No problem. With mono green at this point, like we have no card advantage. So we're good into the creature mirrors, but sweeper, double counter, double sweeper. I mean, we gotta go for it. They probably have removal here, but again, I can't play around these things because then they just untap with counters. Tyvar Stan's gonna come in. I'm just gonna get rid of all the removal here. Just go like heavy on threats. Guess Invoke the Ancients, kind of like a rebuild. Polychronos is probably the weakest. I don't know. There's just like no counterplay there. We just are forced to throw out our stuff. And then with Jace, we're required. If they didn't have Jace, we wouldn't have committed so much each time. But without Jace, you're kind of forced into it. And then mulliganing is basically just a death sentence. They're going to bring in more removal post board. They already have the Shore Sharks, so. Just throw stuff out there. Okay, if they don't have it, no removal one turn. Because then I'm just going to hold up Tyvar Stan for the rest of the game. I'm playing this out first. Because we have Proliferate. Alt Poison Wincon. I actually think I might want Myrex in the sideboard. Or at least just like a single copy. I know we have like a lot of green, but I don't see how we're beating these. Like, mind you, they're just playing mono Field of Ruin effects. So I actually technically had lethal, but it's very risky to do that. At this point, they sweep. You ain't Sunfall. Okay, well, worked out better than I thought it would. 23 lands. I guess just run it back. Like, anything with haste has utility. The Nissas at least play around the sweepers. So even if we force them into the sweeper, we just have to hope to hit our spot. Got a lot of 5-drops. 23 lines is probably a little too low. Yeah, so we'll try this hand. This hand's much slower. But hopefully like Sharp-Eyed into Flourishing Bloomkin eventually can get us there. So they kill there. Yeah, we're just under the pressure. The last game, the opponent really didn't do anything. Yeah, now they have Seed Shark on curve. So I think we have to go like this. It doesn't attack into Seed Shark, but keep them honest. We gotta be mindful that they have these up. How the hell do we ever beat this? We took out all our removal. Land's really good here. Okay. So Contaminator evolves. Gotta try for Nissa maybe. I mean, we just gotta like throw stuff. We're just like big dumb. Do they sweep here if we go? It's an interesting line because like we can protect, but then we're dead to the sweeper. So I'd just rather, if there is a sweeper, we have some counterplay. Because if I draw a land, then I can also Axebane here. This is a 4/4. To me, that suggests that there's a sweeper. Gotta hope that they don't have the counter here. So they're actually gonna get 2 tokens here, which is really annoying. Would have been a great turn to stick Nissa. And it's 5, which is super annoying. But it's... Activate only if a player has 1 or fewer cards in hand. Oh, it works for them as well. That's annoying. I'm doing this because I wanted to try to tap them out. Like we lose the Axebane, but just trying to reduce. Oh, come on! Oh my god. Last card too. Like never punished. And Alcazatz is just gonna race us now. And the problem. These have Death Touch. Super, super frustrating. Doesn't even matter. Fucking hell. Every part of that curve they had, like, the answer. That one's a frustrating one. Like, we had some of the counterplay, But if they're gonna have like Alcazats, I don't know. I still think it's right to take out the removal. But the problem is like we force the block, but we're just not getting the card man. Them having perfectly timed counters. Think we keep. Playing against Ali. He's on like a skeleton deck, like the Sapperling graveyard thing. Great card. Sacrifice, draw a card. This enters the battlefield, fail 2, exile from the graveyard, put a 1/1 counter. Probably go nameless first. I think we're just gonna beat down here. So that makes it a 2/2. Big dumb dinos. Da, 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 da. Oh, I guess Hydras. So we got double fight for next turn. They can draw a card here. Okay, so we got clues. We got explores. Board repossession, get it back to hand. Tire spinning happening. We have no graveyard hate. Honestly, even just sticking Nissa next turn would be nice. Want to hit a land here. I guess we just were never meant to hit that land. Okay, so turtle back to hand. Getting turtle out of the way is fine, because if I can go Nissa, it's pretty good. We also just have double fight next turn when it's lethal. Balaji. Okay. Might just sack here for the card draw. So now they're dead. Fight, fight. Alright. Got him. Big dumb green things. So this one, Filigrees might be interesting. Probably want the blast zones. They do have like the enchantment, which is probably what we want. I still think we want trample more in this matchup. Could probably trim on Anissa. The invokes are fine. Pelucranos probably is like the weakest of them. So trim that. Like, while it's bigger, these all provide utility, which I like more. Do still think we want the fight effects. Probably trim one, invoke the ancients. And we could trim a land because we're adding in the blast zone. So keep the 23 lands. So just kind of go from there. See how it plays out. It's the, I forgot the, it's like the chalk line deck where you're just kind of playing stuff out of the graveyard, kind of going from there. All right. Bit slower of a hand, but I think we keep still. I can charge up this blast zone onto. Or in a pinch, I can also just find a land. I think we're just gonna curve out here. Finding the land's good because then I can go 2, 3, 4. Enters battlefield, mill, sacrifice, return all lands from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Tyvar. Doppelgang. Here, I think they just need to decide if they want to keep Tyvar alive. You're gonna get a bunch of lands back. But I will get double evolve. So I'm gonna put the Tyvar, the Uvenwald into Tyvar. Yeah, because then they can't sack. For each target of X target permanence. So they don't have creature yet. I think what we do is just hold up Archdruid's Charm. When they go to target, we can just blow it up. Yeah, so we have Insidious Roots that gets you mana. And then there's being able to mill, sacrifice, file, create for each creature card in your graveyard. Could just be dead, potentially. Dead's also cool. Best draw is probably a land. Lets me draw a card and Archdruid's Charm. This makes it a little awkward because I can't Archdruid's Charm. I think we attack all. We didn't really have lethal there, so I think we just play it safe. I'll just draw 2 cards at end step if they don't do anything. Oh, this could be the channel, get things back to your hand. Also, depending what they do, I can just put a counter on Blast Zone. Shigeki. They have the Doppelganger. So they could Urborg Repossession, get something back. I mean, the deck's feeling pretty good as long as we don't go against like mono sweepers. X token copies. So I Archdruid Charm the Sharp-Eyed Rookie. Because depending on how they block. Oh, you can't fight that. So I think we're just drawing here. I mean, I think we go to attacks, and then depending on how they block, we might just be able to blow them out. Maybe should have put a counter. Okay, so put a counter, doesn't do enough. Pop this, kills the ones, which isn't enough. blow up the ones here. No, I'm short. Okay. They got us there. We needed to push a little bit more damage through. So the Nisses are kind of slow in this matchup. Without having access to honestly, probably just lower the curve. Maybe, like I do think the filigrees can be interesting. Maybe just a single Tyvars. That game we had to kind of hope that they messed up and we were able to get. I do think we want like some graveyard hate in the deck. Back. Archdruid, I think. I think we're just whacking on one. Getting lines is important. Hopefully just naturally draw into a land. Perfect. I want this dead. Too much value. So I can Argoth here. I can get Filigree going. Just keep it on 1. Big boy. That is a big boy. Don't think we can beat that now. I need my Death Toucher. What we can do is get Filigree up to 2, sweep our 2s, but give 1 indestructible. Also, depending what they do, we have Tyvar stand. We didn't see Souls of the Lost in the past games. Otherwise, maybe we bring in some more removal, but a lot of redundancy in this match. Don't think they necessarily want to sacrifice the soul. They probably are playing a full set of Tyvar, I would imagine. So I would need another untapped land for this to be... Ah, jeez. We're just never beating this now. Turn too slow. Need a creature. And your legendary. It's like the literal worst draw in our freaking deck. Wait, didn't I put an oil counter on their turn? Oh my god, did I miss that? They can sack that, so that gets it to 10. They might have the channel, which also gets me. Ah, that's frustrating. Game 2, we were like close. And in this game, the Souls of the Lost just ran us over. You know, the creature lines now. Yeah, it's fine. Alright, that one was frustrating. So, like, mono green can do cool things, but we're running into the issue of just not enough consistency. Like, we ran out of cards, the curve's fairly high to get anything impactful, we can't beat a sweeper, and then in that game, like, once you kind of run out of cards, there's no engine in the deck, where a lot of standard is engine-based, where we're just not seeing that in the deck. But, cool deck if you want to give it a shot. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.